Hey guys, it's Rowan again, or Joey. I produced my other 3 videos about the negativity and how to combat it, and those 3 were quite proactive videos, things that you could do. And I went on a walk to my local veg shop to buy salady bits for the week, and that's a great thing you can do also to combat negativity, by the way. 2 things I didn't mention in my other video is exercise and going outside in nature is a great thing you can do when you're feeling got at, or you're feeling the negative stresses, or you think someone is sending crap your way. A bit of exercise is great for burning off those negative feelings, whether they're your own or whether you think you're under attack. Burn them off, pump up that energy. It's great for you as well, obviously. I'm in the process of trying to lose weight and exercise myself, so it's really good for you. And go outside, go into nature, sit by a tree, ground yourself, feel connected, and try and calm and let it all drain off. And another thing that I always suggest to people under any circumstances, especially when they're getting sick or when the negativity is affecting them and starting to make them feel depressed or ill, drink plenty of water and or fluids. So I have water with me at the minute, and cooling over here I have, oh, you can see inside, green tea with jasmine. I was not a big fan of herbal tea for a long time until I found this, which was a recommendation from Lady Fairmoon, I believe, and I went and tried it, and it's fabulous. It's really good. But if, you know, whatever tea or drink or anything that is going to calm you, and go have some me time where you distress and sit by yourself and just calm yourself, have a drink, keep yourself hydrated, so you feel better. Now, the rest of this video is something that came to me as I was walking to and from the veg shop, which is I had covered all of the proactive what to do aspects that I could think of. There are many more. By no means am I an expert, and anyone who says they are an expert, you should disregard anything they say immediately, because if they think they know it all, they probably know jack shit. I mean, this is all my opinion, so, but take it with a pinch of salt. But what I wanted to discuss here was how this situation could be affecting people new and old and disheartening them to the path of the craft, Wicca, paganism, witchcraft, whatever, the whole branch. And I was thinking, with special regards to the email I received, the person who emailed me was new, and they were new to it, and they'd left one religion and found this, and, you know, so they saw the old religion as being no longer as relevant, and were looking for something more engaging, more positive, different. And they were all excited and happy to have found it. I thought, this is great. And then they come online on YouTube and start posting comments because they're excited, and they're showing support for one of their favourite channels, which is one of my favourite channels too. And other people who have a problem with this person, who are hate spreaders and spreading negativity and leaving shitty comments all over the place just to be, I don't know, just because, I don't know why they're doing it, for whatever reason. And this person then starts to doubt themselves and the path they follow, because they're getting all this shit sent at them, and they are having negativity sent to them on purpose, and they're new. And what a horrible, horrible way to start what should be a joyous, enjoyable discovery. I mean, oh, excuse me. So I thought, for newbies and oldies alike, general terms, it could be really disheartening. And I've had this feeling as well, like, I've just started doing these videos, and already, you know, and these people are saying shit about people. There are people sending shit to people, and it's not a great representative of the pagan path. It's really bad. And so I thought I would put this video out to be like a discussion side of the other video, which was more, here are a load of things you can do from one scale of not having any tools to having a few tools. Whereas this video is more talking about how this is affecting people, new and old. And I mean, the hate being sent out by some people and the things that some people are saying about other people is vile. It's just unbelievable. Now, before we start this, there are people in life and on YouTube everywhere that are like this. It's easier on YouTube because of the anonymity. It's easier on the internet. You get all the trolls on the internet because they can hide who they are, and it's so easy to post nice, nasty little comments, whereas it's apparently a much harder thing to be a bigger person, to wish somebody well even if you don't get on. You know, apparently to be a bigger person is a lot more difficult. Whereas there's an awful lot of these negative comments about people in general. All over the internet, all over real life, although, you know, bitching and gossiping in real life is often maybe a little bit more covert. There is obviously some of that going on the internet where emails are being sent and things are being said about people behind their back where they can't see what's being said, and then other people come to... Blah, blah, blah. If you're new... This is not acceptable behaviour for any human being, and it's not really acceptable within the realms of paganism, Wicca, witchcraft. There is, you know, there's nothing to say that you can't have opinions, and opinions are welcomed, but some people seem to think that their opinions override all other people's opinions, and nobody else's opinions count. Now, that's not how the world should be. Debate is supposed to be two opposing sides come together with two ideas, two arguments, and it doesn't settle an argument to say, well, I'm right, you're wrong, or, well, my book says this, so you're wrong, I've been at this longer than you, I have more people subscribe to my channel. It doesn't make one person right or the other. If two people have hugely differing point of views and they're never going to see eye to eye on their with beliefs, it's a big thing. Obviously, if you have a very devout person of one faith and a very devout person of another faith, they're unlikely to ever give ground. And if that happens, the best thing those two people can do is say, well, we are never going to agree, so boop, go your separate ways. Apparently, a lot of people have a lot of trouble leaving well alone. I mean, the situation on YouTube particularly, I think Lady Fairy Moon showed a lot of grace, and for a while she didn't say anything at all. Then she addressed it and said, this is all I want to say about this, and the other people just kept hounding and hounding and hounding her and saying really awful things. Why people on YouTube or at all need to get involved in, and some of them are really personal insults. If it has nothing to do with you, leave it well enough alone. But stepping back from that whole argument, do not let that colour the way you think of paganism, of the craft, of witchcraft, of Wicca, of whatever. There's so many, it's difficult to generalise. My path is a lot of the Wiccan elements. I was going to do an ethics video, and it got put off, and because one thing happened and another thing happened, and then I went to the sea mummy gnome and to the seaside, which was lovely. Yeah, so I'm going to bring that into this video. Now, I'm going to quote from a book, I'm going to quote from a book that I brought up in my beginners series, which is this one, The Craft by Dorothy Morrison, because I mentioned it before, And because then if you want to go read a book and see where this information is, you know where this information is, rather than me just talking at you and just giving you my opinions. This is from a book as well, and this is how newbies start out a lot of the time, and I would recommend reading books, and because books are a good way of filtering out the stuff that often happens on the internet. Let me see if I can find some really great lines, because Dorothy Morrison has some really lovely lines. Yeah, this is a great start. There are many things involved in walking the path of Wicca effectively. First and foremost, we should remember things that our parents tried to teach us. Not all parents, but this is generalised. Things like playing nice, using good judgment, and knowing when to listen rather than speak. Good manners. Playing nice, well, none of this name calling, this hate spreading is playing nice, is it? It's just not. It takes a bigger person to be like, to not fall to this level, because it's not even childish, it's just hateful. It's just spreading hate. Okay, so using good judgment speaks for itself, and knowing when to listen rather than to speak. And having good manners. Good manners is not insulting people and putting out videos with their names on them and carrying on arguments when you could have cut it off and left it. It's just continuing the hate, you know? The rule of 3 within Wicca is like the karmic law, that whatever you send out, you get back by 3. The read of the Wicca is quite long, and it sort of touches on all different areas, but the last line, which is what is most frequently commented, 8 words the Wiccan read fulfill, and it harm none, do what ye will. So rather than being a whole set of binding guidelines, you are expected to take this idea of harming none, which includes yourself, and go out and apply that to the world. I'm going to have a sip of my tea. It's so calming, I really recommend it. So really think on that, people who are in the craft, who are just joining the craft. That is supposed to be something that people think about. You're not supposed to be harming others. Now people sometimes get a bit confused or carried away with this, and I said in one of my other videos, to pretend that the world is a happy light place and nothing bad ever happens is to be kidding yourself, because the world is not a happy, you know, hippie place. It's just not. There are people who harm other people, there are people that physically harm other people, there are malicious lies and gossip spreaders, there are criminals, on and on and on and on. So it's not a fluffy world, it's not. And for example, the return to send a spell is effectively returning harm that has been sent at you to them. Now you can say, well, isn't that harming someone? Well, you're fully entitled to protect yourself and yours, and it's one of the biggest part of being a witch is to protect you and yours and your home and your family and your friends. You know, if they didn't send any shit your way, then nothing's going to harm them, and it's their actions. You're not sending harm to them, you are reflecting whatever they're sending at you when it's negative. Just was thinking, there's 13 principles of Wiccan belief and the Witch's Creed. I suggest, if anyone new to Wicca, this is Wicca. Look these up. I mean, there's too much for me to go and read. And just to see if there's any of these that apply. It's a bit difficult. Okay. So there are ethics within witchcraft, within Wicca, within... I mean, there's supposed to be ethics within all religions, and people start just to forget that and ignore it. And I was thinking about this poor person as I was walking down the road, thinking they've just discovered this and already they've had a negative experience to kick it off. Don't allow that to colour your path, your discoveries. Go back to when you first discovered it and write down all those things that interested you. And I said in the other video about making lists. Just list all the stuff that interests you, why you came to this path, what you think about it, without the colourings of any one individual or group of people who are sending out negativity and shit. Because the pagan path is what you make it. It's how you choose to address your life, your path. You can't ignore, and unfortunately that you will have run-ins with people who are not pleasant in life, on the internet, yada yada. So I've already covered ways to protect yourself and purify yourself. So the other video is basically what to do, and this is just more me talking and theorizing and saying, well, just don't get disheartened by the actions of a few, because in any section of society, in any group of people, there will be people who act negatively, who cast against other people in the witchcraft sense. They cast against people in a negative way and send them harm and send them hate, and that's not what the majority of pagans are like that I've ever met. I mean, in life I've come across openly negative, maybe 5 the entire time I've been doing this. Online it's easier for them because they can hide behind anonymity, you know. You don't know who I am, so I can be a bitch or be a bastard, you know, excuse the French. Sorry. But don't let that colour you negative. Don't think, well, these people are all like that. They're not. There's so much joy to be found in this, with connecting with deity, with connecting with spirituality, with your totem animals, with experiencing nature, with celebrating the wheel of the year in Wicca, getting in touch with nature, getting in touch with yourself, and it's a real learning experience. So do not, whether you are new or whether you've been at this for a long, long time, it doesn't matter. Don't allow this to get into you, to darken you, because that's what negative people want. They want to affect you, they want to influence you, they want to steal your joy. And I mentioned in the other video some ways of making sure that your joy overcame any negativity, whether it be your own inner problems, this, that and the other, or whether it is being sent. So keep dancing, keep singing, keep rocking out, keep sticking your music on loud, keep painting your nails, painting your face, doing whatever you want to do, just these little things, and keep bringing that joy in. Exercise, drink plenty of fluids, all these little things you can do, and you just, I said it very briefly in the video, but you just go like, this is my life, this is my path, it's mine. You're not going to influence it, you're not going to put a negative spin on it, it's mine, and I'm going to live life the way I want to. So, especially for the person who emailed me, but for others as well, don't allow this to ruin it for you, because there are people out there who just like to ruin other people's experiences. They like to be the rain cloud on the birthday party, you know? So don't allow them. If they start raining on your parade, you say, well, I know how to dance in the rain. Seriously, smile, laugh, enjoy it. And if YouTube becomes too much, then step back and just go read, or learn from other ways. Don't, you know, allow these people to ruin it for you. Blessed be.